Welcome to the SMB Community Podcast with hosts Amy Babinchek, James Kernan, and Carl Polachek. Produced by Kernan Consulting and for the international MSP community. We are dedicated to making every IT professional a successful IT professional. All right. Welcome back to the SMB Community Podcast. This is James Kernan with Kernan Consulting, live with two of my biggest and bestest friends of all time in the channel, Carl Polachek and Amy Babinchek. Hey, welcome back.
So when I was a kid, the TV used to say that this program was recorded live.
That's exactly what we're doing today. We are recording live.
Recording live. We're not really live, but live when we recorded this. So,
right.
Well, good. So good to get the gang back together. So we've got a few things on the agenda for today, but let me start with Amy. Amy, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been missing for a little bit because I spent time on my boat over in the Canadian part of Lake Huron, which is pretty wildernessy and hard to get an internet access. I would get, a bar, which looks more like a dot of 5G. And then the boat would swing around and it may go to 2 or it may disappear, and it would, so it was okay for it's enough internet to do, email and things that are asynchronous, but it is not good enough for having a conversation like this.
Well, good. Well, welcome back. Welcome back. And for the listening audience, you've got to share, you have the coolest out of office automated message I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some really good ones, but you want to share that with everybody, what you said?
I don't know. I'm feeling a little on the spot here because I should know if I'm like super cool, but I think I just said something like "gone sailing, be back in a month," right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And if you know Amy, it's hilarious because that's all it said. Hey, gone sailing, exclamation point. I'll be back in a month. And anyway, I thought that was pretty cool.
That works perfectly. I'm all about being your brand, right? And nobody who emails Amy, if you know her, then it fits and you understand it and you get it and it's all good. And if you don't know her, you're just a stranger and it doesn't really matter.
Right. Anybody who knows me was not surprised by the message, nor did it need further explanation. Like, everything is handled in the business. There's nothing to worry about. I'll see you later. Right.
Yeah. An in control, smart business owner. Good for you.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome.
I gave up out of office memos many years ago. I was like, look, I'll get back to you when I get back to you. It doesn't matter.
Well, the out of office messages I hate are the ones that are 5 paragraphs long.
Right. Here are the instructions for reading my email while I'm gone.
Yeah, right. Your message is so important to me, and I just want you to know all of these things while I'm away. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, you take a nap in the middle of that.
No kidding. I also say that I got an email yesterday. It was a 2-sentence email, which is all it needed to be, but then it had 3 paragraphs of disclaimer, liability thing. There was like a whole 3 sections.
Forward this,
Someone has been taking the advice of their lawyer too much to heart.
This is why there are gargantuan 6-foot signs at the swimming pool that nobody reads, with like, oh, if you enter here, you might die and whatever all this. But okay, I'm just going to get in the pool,
Yeah, right.
That might be an interesting topic to talk about here in a moment, but I'll just call it email etiquette. Do you write short emails to long emails, all caps, lowercase, special fonts? What do you think email etiquette is on some of those things? What are your rules of thumb?
We could do an hour on that.
Yeah, for sure. Sure.
But we'll teach a class, a 5-part class. I think there's content on that for you, Carl.
$399.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to that for sure. Well, so here's the question of the week that we had. it was, do you attend social events with your customers? So do you attend social events, networking events with your customers? How do you guys feel about that?
We did very often, because sometimes we would have an open house, especially, with a certain group of, clients who have been with us a long time. But we also had clients who had open houses. We have one client, actually, we had one client that barbecued every Friday. So when people would fight over doing monthly maintenance on the farm because they knew that the owner was going to be out there barbecuing. And then we had another client that was a doctor that every Friday he had some medical rep buy lunch for his entire office. So everybody wanted to be in his office on a Friday for monthly maintenance. But we also met a lot of clients at social events, some of which we sponsored. Networking is a great way to meet people and get new clients. Well, but that means when you go back to networking, you're going back with a different relationship because one of those people is now your client. So for us, we did socialize a fair amount with our clients.
Yep. How about you, Amy?
Yep, same. I actually just bought 10 tickets to the Tigers game so we'll be going with some clients to the Tigers game and some of my employees. So mix of each. And, but yeah, I actually, this last year, formalized our networking work groups. So we, meet up at a local pub, and I just move around to a different one every month. So breaking all the rules of networking groups by not having a consistent place and time and all that stuff. But we just move around and I want clients to come as well as prospects to come. So invite both. And they're not big, they're 10 people or so, but yeah, it's a social time, and you develop a different close relationship with clients when you do a little bit of socializing with them. And I think the lunches are great, Carl. When I was in the position of, being a tech and visiting clients for that type of work, and if they were, having a birthday party or something, I'd be like, well, why didn't you invite me to that birthday party? I really like cake. And so, then you start to get those invitations, and then you are part of their company, which is where you want to land, right? You want to get out of the vendor box and into these people are part of us, right? They're always at birthday parties.
Yeah, I've actually attended a couple of funerals for people who are, clients, staff. And, there is something I've always believed in celebrating anniversaries. So when clients have a 5 or a 10 or 15-year anniversary, we would do something. And, to stand up there and say, look, we've seen people get married and we've seen people die. We've been together for 10 years because people do business with people,
Yeah.
I think it's huge.
Yeah, we always send sympathy cards. So if we hear an employee's parent died, or, or whatever the situation is, not even just the owner, but just somebody who works there, we send a card, at minimum. If it's an owner's parent, or, something like that, we will send flowers or a plant, to the service. So, but same thing too, weddings, right? We send a lot of greeting cards out just for anytime we hear of anything. And all my staff knows that too. So they will let us know, right? You'll see a little Teams message come through to Missy, our office ninja. And, hey, so-and-so is getting married, or so-and-so is, having a baby, or, somebody died, or, whatever it is. And then she takes the appropriate action.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love what Carl said. People do business with people. I say that all the time. And you want a professional relationship, but you do want to get to know the persons that you do business with. To me, that's really where the rubber meets the road. And I love those handwritten notes. A lot of people, you can do that on social media and say happy birthday, and there's all the social media reminders. I think that's important too. But kind of back on the event idea, I love that. So I was always a yes, yes, yes. I attended social events with our customers, and actually one of the core values was in my old IT business before I sold it was, giving back to the community. And I would always tell my customers and my prospects that, hey, we hold monthly networking events for you. So we would have it over at a pub, the Carl Strauss Brewery in San Diego. So fun venue. I said, hey, we've got free appetizers. I'll buy the first round. Just come over to, meet and network. And I want to introduce you to people that maybe want to do business with you. So it's almost more of like a leads networking group where I'm there trying to make meaningful introductions and help find them business. And if they see me serving them, they'll be more inclined to, to reciprocate and to give back and buy more stuff from us. So that worked really, really well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, every networking event we've had, and as I mentioned, they're small, we end up with a new client every time. And, and I think it's that same thing that has always worked. I think I've mentioned here before, we did training events and we would invite our clients and we'd invite our prospects, right? Come and learn about X, right? And same thing at these networking events. There's a mix of, a couple of our clients show up, a couple of prospects show up with the idea that it's a networking group, right? The potential clients are showing up because they might meet somebody, but it turns out, they're also meeting us and our clients. I have a meeting at the end of the month scheduled for a law firm, a 30-person law firm. She showed up just to network. They're patent attorneys. And then, she went to 2 of our events. At the second one, I looked over and she was having a long conversation with one of our clients who's in manufacturing. And then the next day I got a message saying that she wants to talk to us about signing on to be their IT firm.
That's awesome. And your clients, somebody's saying, so what is it like to work with Amy? And they say, oh, well, we love her, blah, 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 blah. Right.
Right. There is no better.
Yeah. So what's funny is that without scripting anything, the clients who show up are going to be the ones who love you the most. So when prospects talk to them, of course, they're going to gush about you.
Yeah. I love the point, Amy, you used the keyword small. You don't have to have big events to make them successful. I like the smaller, the better, the more intimate. And, case in point, you kept them small and you'd got a client every single time. So here was my favorite part of the networking things that I used to put together very quickly. If I'm buying appetizers and buying a few rounds, or at least a round for people that showed up, it went from 5 people, 10 people, 20 people. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh boy, it's getting expensive really quick. I started inviting a strategic partner, a distributor or a manufacturer rep, so the local Microsoft rep or the local HP rep or the local Pure Storage rep, somebody would come along and they were the ones with the expense credit card available. So they were the sponsor. And I would highlight them by just saying thank you to these guys. They paid for everything, and that worked out really well and was a real inexpensive marketing event. So
yeah, I would say if you hold it in the same place every time, it will grow like that.
Yeah,
I specifically don't because I wanted it to be a client activity, right? And the clients are not going to go very far to attend an event, right? They're going to swing by after work, right? We hold it right after work. It's like 4:30 to 6, right? We just say it's a short amount of time. It's right after work. Swing by. I'll buy you the first round, and they do, right? A few of them always do, and so it's just an opportunity for us to network with them, and that's why we moved it around because we have clients all over the metro area.
I love the meetup.com, because there's about 12 happy hour meetups, right? In fact, when I go to Irvine, when I go to Southern California, I've got a friend who started the Orange County happy hour meetup. And so it was in town when I was there a few weeks ago and I went to it, right? even though those people are not my prospects or whatever, I'm still meeting people. But meetup.com might be a way to organize this if you don't want to just send emails to a handful of clients.
Yeah.
But then you're going to get strangers walking in. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, be careful. Yeah, I like the impromptu point that Amy brought up. We, for consistency's sake, because we were trying to grow the number of attendees, we kept it, same, like the first Thursday every month at 5 o'clock. So we would do that monthly. So, hey, we've got another topic that I wanted to make sure we chatted about, was the failing accuracy of ChatGPT. Have you guys, what are your thoughts on that?
I think this is interesting, and I wouldn't say necessarily predictable, but it reminds me of the evolution of Wikipedia, right? Wikipedia came out as, okay, here's this idea, followed by a bunch of people put a bunch of information in, followed by, hey, wait, this has gone off the rails and it's all run by Nazis, followed by people saying, okay, let's figure out what the guardrails are and what's allowed and what's not allowed and how we manage it and how it grows and da 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 da. And so this is a similar thing, like ChatGPT sort of, it's reacting to the humans who are putting information into it, right?
Right.
When you get enough of the similar prompts, you begin to think, oh, that's important to these people. It's almost like a reticular activating system for AI. It is paying attention to whatever you tell it is important to you. And so now we need to figure out what the guardrails are and take it to the next level.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, because we have terrible people in the world whose goal in life is to, write ransomware or whatever. And their new thing is to just fill ChatGPT with bogus information. And, that sucks. And they'll have to develop ways to figure it out, like Carl said, and I'm confident that they will. But the other problem, and I read an article on this recently. I'll try to, if I remember where it is, I'll get it so we can put a link up for it. But it was about the problem of decreasing humanness. So the initial information into ChatGPT was all human generated content. Well, that works great for phase one, and then it goes out to ingest it again. And there's a lot of content that has been generated by the AI itself now. And so it goes out to re-ingest, it ingests more of its own content.
Right.
And over time, more of its own content, until pretty soon it's this, it only exists amongst itself, right? And so that's, I think, even a more difficult problem that they're going to have to grapple with, is how do they make sure that they're ingesting original content?
Well, and part of it, they don't know why it's going sideways, but its ability to predict or to identify random numbers has gone from like 98% to 3%, which is ridiculous. And its ability to accurately convert from one kind of coding, such as Java, to another kind of coding, such as Python, is also diminishing. And so the people who are running it are like, we're not sure why this is happening, but it's kind of, I guess, the natural drift of something that you just let go on its own.
Well, I think we have to remember too that although we're calling this AI, it's not actually, it's large language model.
Yeah.
So it's essentially predictive text, right? When you're typing along and then it shows you the next word that it thinks you might want to type. That's sort of what AI is doing. Like, you asked it a question, so it predicts what the answer that you're expecting.
Right.
Yeah.
Provides the information. So in one sense, it's, like the absolutely masterful autocorrect.
One of my favorite sites of all time is Damn You Autocorrect.
Oh yeah, love that site.
Because it would be like, wait a minute, like, I never use that word. Why are you?
One of my long frustrations as an iPhone owner is that their autocorrect has never gotten any better in the last 15 years. It's like,
That's good. That's good. Yeah, well, it's certainly crazy. When I think of this topic, what pops in my head, do you guys remember the little meme floating around social media with a picture of Abraham Lincoln? And it says, don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Yeah.
Abraham.
Like 70% of the information on the internet is made up, right?
Yeah. So that's it right there. But cool. Well, hey, we're going to run out of time. I just wanted to ask before we adjourn, what's coming up? What are you guys up to in the next month or two?
Well, I actually am off the road. So as this airs, I have just come back from exchange. And now until my daughter has a baby, I'm not going anywhere. So whether the baby's early or late, I am not leaving Sacramento until I have kissed my grandchild on the forehead. So that's just the way the
Very
world
cool.
works.
Love that.
All
Love
right.
that. How about you, Amy?
Look forward to seeing that photo, Carl.
Yeah.
September, is it the 18th? Maybe it's the 17th through the 21st. Anyway, I'm going to be in Atlanta speaking at Quest's Practical 365 conference on Azure Active Directory, now renamed Entra ID. So I have to update my deck.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm excited about that conference because it's been a long time since I have been to an all tech conference. Like there's no business at this conference. It is just all geeks geeking out on stuff. So really looking forward to doing that. And anybody listening is there, look me up. Let's talk.
There you go. That's awesome. Awesome. And then I think so I'm home for a while. Just got back from ChannelCon, but looking forward to the end of September 28th, 29th. We've got the Mastermind conference in Scottsdale, Arizona at the Talking Stick Resort. So that'll be exciting. So if anybody's interested in that, I've got free VIP passes available, 2 days of content. Just message me at james@kernanconsulting.com. Or reach out through social media. I'd love to hear from you and have you at the conference, but I'm looking forward to that. So, all right. Well, I think that is going to be a wrap for today. Thanks for tuning in on the SMB Community Podcast. Until next time, sayonara.